Now, back to the HaneyBiz Project with investorpreneur Mark Haney.
Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, courtesy of the accounting firm Lifted Larson Allen. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm rejoined by both Tom Kandris and Greg Connolly. We've been talking entrepreneurship, and I want to talk about the overarching life cycle of an entrepreneur. You guys have both built businesses, exited them, but it's a little addictive. Tom, is entrepreneurship your worst addiction, or are there worse addictions to have?
I think business is the worst addiction. I think entrepreneurship, but I think it's becomes a passion, right? Yeah. So you don't really think about being an entrepreneur. You think about meeting payroll and maybe having some success along the way. Yeah, so you're addicted to winning. The label comes later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Greg, let's talk about the life cycle of an entrepreneur. Right. You have the beginning, which is kind of the area where you're at now. You've obviously got the end or the exit. Tom has just experienced something extremely cool. But then you have the thrill of victory that happens throughout, and then there's also the agony of defeat. Nobody goes through entrepreneurship undefeated. Which is the most important time in that journey of an entrepreneur?
I think that they're all important. One of the things I've really tried to focus on more recently is to enjoy the journey itself, because it is very fun. There are the stresses of meeting payroll and doing all of those things, but there are a lot of high points as well, and celebrating the victories as much as you learn from the defeats is absolutely critical. So I do love the startup phase. I am very jealous of you with all the startups you have going on here.
I'm having a blast.
But the exit phase, I'm also
so you guys
quite
are just
jealous
doing them one
of
at a
Tom.
time. It's fun to do them like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 at a time. It's a lot more fun. Okay, what's a big win?
You guys make it sound like I'm over. Stop that.
So, Greg, so what's a big win story in this startup time frame for Trifecta?
A huge win. Well, obviously getting an investment from you was
thank you. Small W.
Yeah, having the wisdom behind us, but big win was definitely the partnership with CrossFit. That was something we had worked on for a long time. We've got another big win coming up here. We're very close to closing the deal with the UFC, which should be a huge one. And then I really think having Urijah come on board as well was a huge win for us. He represents Sacramento in a lot of ways. He really put Sacramento on the map when it comes to the kind of celebrity personality side of the fence, and having him, select us out of all the, the businesses that approach him and say, hey, this fits with me, this fits with what I'm interested in, and it helps the Sacramento region in a big way, is a huge win for us.
And I hate to pat myself on the back too much, but didn't I introduce you to Urijah Faber?
You get full credit.
I am a matchmaker, my friends. Now, Tom, you just had a big W, right? But it's not always easy. You, when you first started out, you had a business partner. You no longer have that business partner. You found a way to overcome that. But so often things in the beginning of the building of a business, they're so important for what happens in terms of winning for the rest of the entrepreneurial journey. Also, I'll throw the question out to you. Which is the most important phase of the entrepreneurial journey?
I would say the half-life. I think it's the gut check time. I think we didn't know what we didn't know starting up the company. We're excited. There was we just were running on energy, and we didn't know until revenue started to drop that we were no longer a startup. So the gut check time in the middle, when you're faced with go, no go, keep going, give up, sell off, whatever it is. And as it turns out that magically my gut check time was at the halfway point.
And when was that? What happened?
Well, we acquired a larger company than ourselves, so we were growing like crazy at 40% a year, not a month like my counterpart here, but Greg did a great job. But we were growing at 40% compound annual growth like crazy. We started acquiring larger companies, manufacturing companies. And I'm not going to blame the economy, but the economy made a change between 2007 and 2009. Katrina hit, commodity prices going crazy, different operating systems, and we just couldn't keep up. Now, we got hurt and got ugly earlier than most, which means that we could get healthier earlier than most.
Okay.
And that was a good thing for us because we had to sell off part of our businesses, and we were able to get good value before everybody else went in the tank.
Did you learn anything about yourself?
You know, I'm going to take something away from my past that basically drove my decision to stick with it. Because, you know, I'd been in the high-tech space, and every 4 years when my stock vested, I went somewhere else to get another bite at the apple. And I'm looking back on it, is my stock probably would have been worth more had I stuck it out. And I do remember not only the fact that I probably would have lost my house and my kids' college fund, but I look back on giving up on something too soon.
Yeah.
And so I was able to leverage things and, you know, sell off some of the commercial real estate I had to put it back in the business and roll the bones.
Wow.
And it was a big deal. So I recommitted to the business, and it was probably turns out at the end to be the best decision, but I didn't know that at the time.
Greg, where did you get your entrepreneurial philosophies, your winning philosophies from? Did they, you know, we talked at the beginning of the show about what these kids learn in Little League, and sometimes it's not always easy. Sometimes the coach is not easy on you, or the board of directors is not easy on us. Is there anything that you learned early on that helped shape your winning philosophies today?
Absolutely. I think probably the biggest thing that's helped me over the years is being a voracious learner.
Okay.
You know, at a very young age, started just ripping through books. I'm a big audiobook person now. I lived on websites like Forbes and Entrepreneur and Inc., listening to guys like Tom that I could learn as much, and yourself, that I could learn as much as possible from as I, built businesses over time. So I think being a voracious learner is probably the best quote unquote skill that I've developed over the years. And as the more you learn, you get further out on the pier and you realize how big the ocean really is, and how much there is to know. And that's just kind of motivated me to continue to try and learn and personally grow.
Interesting that all three of us are kind of like local hometown guys. Greg, you went to Del Oro High School right down the street.
Yes,
Tom,
sir.
you are Foothill High School. I am here from Roseville. I went to Oakmont High School, and we've all taken different paths. Tom, you went to high tech. You've done some entrepreneurial startups out of the area, and I just couldn't leave home. What is it about Sacramento? And I'll throw this, as we close up, we only have a minute left. What is it about Sacramento today that is so special?
Sacramento's a big little town. I think within one phone call away, you can talk to anybody, and anybody will give you the time of day. I think this is a great community.
Yeah, Greg, closing thoughts about Sacramento and the great place that we have here to grow a business and really raise a family.
I think it's got a combination of a lot of things. It's Northern California, so all the beautiful nature, everything. The community is phenomenal. You're an hour away from San Francisco, the tech capital of the world. We've got Napa. Everything is all right here, and we also have Texas housing prices, which is phenomenal. You can really get a lot more bang for your buck and raise a family and have a really nice life. So love the area. Really happy I came back from San Francisco and Los Angeles, and excited to give back.
Welcome home. We're glad to have you back, Tom. As you know, we are very tight, and you've taught me so much. I want to thank both of you for coming on the show, sharing your stories, and really helping Sacramento to become what it is. And I think it is a future hotspot, or maybe even the current hotspot, maybe even the best kept secret in entrepreneurship around. So thank you guys for helping that to come together today for us. And I'm going to bring in Marcus Haney, my partner in crime. Marcus, we want to thank our sponsors. We want to do a few shout outs. You might even want a little bit more Mark Haney. Give us some words.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for a little bit more Mark Haney, visit us at HaneyBiz.com. We're all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Look us up. I also want to give a special shout out to Kurt Roca and Steve Mills over at DCA Capital. Those guys are doing great
we're all
things.
buddies with those guys.
Absolutely. And I also want to give a shout out to James Beckwith over at 5 Star Bank, the Entrepreneurs Bank, really doing great things here right in our community.
Without a doubt. Well, what if somebody wants to be around Mark Haney a little more? Guys now some people don't want to be around Mark Haney too much. Guys like Tom Kandris, they like
get
being
enough.
around Mark
Yeah,
Haney.
there
They
you
can't
go.
get enough. But what if people want more Mark Haney? How do they reach out and get in touch with us?
Well, you can reach out via HaneyBiz.com and reach out, or you can come to some events that you'll be speaking at. You'll be out at Lincoln High School giving a speech to their varsity football squad. He'll be at Elk Grove Rotary on September 16th. And we're also doing Entrepreneurs Unleashed series here at the Allegiant Giving Center.
Come hang out with us, and I'll talk entrepreneurship with all you guys.
And that is September 28th.
Mark Haney on that day.
That is September.
That's it. I know there's more than that, but we'll leave it at that. You know, next week we've got some great guests coming up. Next week we have Carol Berger, president of Berger Rehabilitation, and we also have Vicki Newman. She's an author and speaker. Her book is How to Love Your Cop. That's coming up next week. When we come back today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about our closing thoughts about how we view the life cycle of entrepreneurship. This is the HaneyBiz Project, and we'll be back in just a minute.